Hey guys, this is Ginger and welcome back to the farm. So it is ponytail time. I'm getting ready to go to work, and so I thought I would tell you a little story about a horse that I had and how I got myself bucked off super hard at a show that we were winning. So I had a little quarter horse gelding. He was Hancock bred, sorrel, wide as a little tank, big old round mutton shoulders. His name was RodeoRed. And he was the kind of horse that you had to be 100% with at all times. There was no half-ass riding Red. It was all or nothing. If at any moment in time he felt like you were not paying him any attention or you were not 100% on your A game, he would dump you. And that's just, and he would do it for fun. He wouldn't go anywhere. He wouldn't leave you. He would just send your ass into the dirt and then stand there and chuckle about it because you should have been paying better attention. So he was not very beginner friendly, and he did not give you very much grace. But nobody was going to outwork him. So if you were willing to put in the work, he was willing to put in. So we went down to Charleston for a 2-day obstacle course competition. And it was the first one that I had signed up for with this horse. He was quite young. I think he was only 4 or 5 at the time. And we went to go do this obstacle course. First day's event, he was rocking it. I mean, he was nailing every obstacle. He was doing super great. And we were sitting in first place for our category. And on the first day, the water obstacle was an actual physical water obstacle. Like, it was this really big deep ditch that went down into this gully, and it went around some trees and then back up the side. Well, he went through that like he didn't even blink an eye. Like, that was nothing. Like, we trail ride all the time. He was completely unfazed with that. Like, he loved water obstacles. Like, that was like, I didn't even consider that an obstacle. Like, that was just a part of trail ride. And so that was super easy. He did everything else that day really great. There was one thing that we had to pull. We had to pull like one of those toy parachute guys, you know, and when you pulled it, the parachute opened and pulled behind. Like, he was spot on. He was doing wonderful. Well, we're sitting in first place. Day 2 comes around. Ginger got a little cocky. Ginger didn't really warm Red up very much that morning. Just jumped on. Went out onto the trail. Like, we got this. Like, we're sitting pretty. Well, we come up to the very first obstacle. Very first obstacle we come up to. And it was a water obstacle. But it was not a real water obstacle. It was a box water obstacle. And the reason this story, I was reminded of this story is because I saw some video today of how to train your horse to get used to those types of obstacles, and they were using real water obstacles, like natural water obstacles. And I was like, don't do that. So this is a box, and it has a piece of plywood on it, and the plywood has holes all poked in it, and it's the box, you know, it's not very deep, probably 6 inches or so. And you step onto that piece of plywood and it sinks down and the water comes up through the holes in the obstacle. Well, this was the very first obstacle, and we were like the very first horse, so this joker was full. And Red walks right up to it. He's very confident. He's on it. Like, he sees it. He's aware of it. He puts his head down. He checks it out. He takes a foot and he touches it, he's good, right? And he's got his head down and he's a big old round mutton-shouldered son of a bitch, real wide as a tank. He walks into that and he stuck his foot fully down in there and water shot up through one of those holes. I don't recall a whole lot of what happened. I know I heard the sound of like it sounded like a grizzly bear roaring is what I remember hearing. I woke up to the sight of my horse hauling ass across this great big field, and I'm talking about like he had the fire lit in him of 1,000 ancestors up his ass. And then from a distance you could see his ears, they kind of flick back. And then they flicked back again, and he realized that I was not with him anymore. And I got to give it to him. He stopped. And he turned around and he looked around. And my friend went after him. Of course, I was fine. I thought I was fine. She went and she got him. He came right to her. They brought him back. He put his head in my chest and he was like, I apologize so much, but that was a danger box. It's dangerous. And I got back on. I was like, okay, cool. So I got back on him. We went through another few obstacles. It was good. I started feeling a little funny. Fell a little off, right? And my friend was riding up ahead of me, and I told her to stop for a second, and I looked down. And my left thigh, had been swelling so much inside my pants leg that it was up over the cantle and the horn of my western saddle. I was just swelling. And I was getting really lightheaded and very, very faint. And so they had to call for the ambulance to come out there into the fields and get me and pull me off of the horse. And they took me back. They had to cut my pants off of me to check it. Luckily, I was fine. It was just a lot of soft tissue damage, which, by the way, it's been, I don't know, well over 10 years since this happened. Well over 10 years. And that inner thigh is still slightly bruised. You can still the slight discoloration on my leg today from that accident. But they got me off the horse. They, fixed me up, whatever. And so I'm really mad because we had been sitting in first place, but that dismount disqualified me from getting any points on that second day's trial. But we still had the in-hand portion that we could do. So there was 2 riding portions and an in-hand portion. So I was like, by God, we're gonna go and do the in-hand portion. So I put on, all of y'all know me, I love my Christmas pajamas. So I had a pair of my fuzzy Christmas pajama pants that were big and floofy, and I put those pajamas on, and I had my friend's husband drive me across the facility in the back of the car leading my horse. And he drove me right up to the starting point line of the in-hand portion. And I got out of the back of the car, and we did the in-hand portion. And anyway, at the end of the weekend, we won 3rd place overall in our division. And I was super proud of him because he gave it 100%. And he definitely gave bucking my ass off 100% too. So the moral of this story is always warm your horse up. Never get too cocky. And never, ever do one of those water box obstacles.